Good morning. Little impromptu live from me today. This is becoming a bit of a habit, isn't it? I wanted to join you this morning and just show you a very quick, or maybe not quick, but a really lovely stretch on a foam roller. So I'm going to grab mine just quickly. If you don't have a foam roller, get one. They're really useful for so many things. You can do core work on them, you can stretch on them, you can release fascia tightness in the body. You can do anything on them. And the great thing about them is they add a little bit of instability to a stretch. So it kind of encourages your body to, it encourages a different kind of release. It's not necessarily passive, which is why I quite like it. It feels like you're doing a little bit more work. So if you're someone that doesn't really like spending a lot of time stretching, these are great. Okay, so I'm going to go through a little upper body opener for you. I have been challenged recently, the last couple of months, with a slight shoulder injury just on one side, and I feel like it's been sent to me. I'm reframing it. I feel like it's been sent to me to help you. So in my rehab journey, and these things really frustrate me, I am going to bring you some of the things that I'm doing or have been doing that have really helped. Now I know that my shoulder issue comes from a day spent at a desk. It comes from this position. So if you are a new mum and you're breastfeeding, or you're pushing a buggy, or you are sitting at a desk, or you are doing someone's hair, or what other jobs are, you're a dentist, anything where you're forwards flexed, you're driving. I noticed in the car the other day I have to sit like this because of the shape of my seat. Anything like that is going to exacerbate this tightness across the front of the chest. And what that does is it then creates a weakness in the upper back. It opens and lengthens the muscles in the upper back. So they're less responsive, they're less able to switch on, they're not sitting in their optimum position. So it makes them lazy. So this becomes really tight, this becomes really lazy, and your posture alters as a result. And 9 times out of 10, pain is like the last part of the equation. That comes at the very end. So when you're experiencing any pain, any kind of injury, any kind of discomfort, it's usually a really good sign that there is something underlying building. So pain is a definite sign to do something about it, but I would always advise doing something about it before that point. So let me just check who's here, if anybody's here. Okay, so pop some comments in if you are watching this on a replay or catch up. I'd love to know if it's useful for you, or if you have any questions, please do let me know. So lying on your foam roller, you need your bottom right at the end, and so that your head can rest down the other end, and you want the foam roller to run along the length of your spine, from your tail to the crown of your head. And then you're just going to start by just resting those arms down and just trying to find a little bit of opening through the chest. Now this sequence I'm going to run through with you now. I usually take about 10 minutes to do this. I'm going to go through it in a couple of minutes for you. So each movement, each position, I would take a bit longer on than we're doing here today. Really just allow those arms to rest. If you've got a tightness in the front of your chest, your shoulders will be twitching to get involved. They will not like this. They won't want to switch off. You're kind of having to, tell them off and get them to relax. And the good thing about that is once you get them to relax, you find your stability elsewhere. You find it more in your core. You breathe, you find that strength coming from your center, rather than these shoulders desperate to do everything. We let them go, let them relax. And once we've found that they can relax, you're going to lift your arms up to the ceiling. And then you're just going to take some big openings. So we reach the arms nice and wide, opening the backs of the hands towards the floor, and then release back up. Now don't worry if your arms don't reach the floor. That's not the aim. The aim is to take them nice and wide and find that space across the front of the chest. Let's do one more here, and then we're just going to hold this. Now try not to let your shoulder blades pinch together. Try and let them relax. Let the arms go heavy and just let them hang there. Take a couple of big breaths here, reaching the fingertips out as wide to the side of the room as you can. Be careful here that this opening hasn't forced you into a big arch of the spine. You do ideally want to try and get your rib cage into the roller. You'd still be neutral, so you're resting on your tail, little bit of a lift through the lower back, or an arch through the lower back. Let the head go heavy and let the arms reach nice and wide. And again, breathe here, be here, sit with this for a few minutes. I mean, it's a lovely thing to just sit and do. You know those moments where you've got 10 minutes and you think, right, what can I do? I haven't got time to do this, haven't got time to do that. This is what you do. 10 minutes before the school run, 10 minutes before dinner's ready. Just add in something like this. It's very short, very quick, but big, big results. When this has been cooking for a little while, you're going to bring those arms back up. And this time, you're going to take them open to what we call a goalpost shape. Now, to begin with, I would always suggest having no weight in the hands. But over time, you could start to put hand weights in your hands here. Just something, maybe like a tin of beans, something light, but it gives you a connection. It gives you an end of chain connection, so you know where you are in space. But it also obviously adds a little bit of weight, so it helps you to open. Again, the more you open, the more you release, the more you might find your body compensates somewhere else. So in this position, your ribs will want to arch. If there isn't space in the chest, your body will find it somewhere else. So get those ribs down and really be mindful of what's happening in the rest of the body. The foam roller is great for feedback. You can really tell quite quickly what's changing, what hasn't changed, what is changing. So let those arms go heavy. Let those elbows reach wide. Let the chest open. Now, my rule of thumb for this is that in my heyday, or in a good day, I've been able to get the elbows to the floor. I'm quite far now. I'm probably a good inch on each side. Also, you want to get the hands back. So it's as much of a opening through the front of the arms, but also a slight rotation. You want to get that opening across the whole of the chest and the armpit. And just hang out here. Now, holding the upper arms where they are, again, you would do that for a few minutes and just rest into it. Holding the upper arms where they are, just allow the lower arm to come up and then open out again. So you want to keep thinking of your elbows reaching wide, but just rotate the arm in its socket. Again, these rotations, this little bit of movement will just help to create a different kind of release. It encourages a little bit more release through the upper arm. One more here. You would do maybe 10 or 15. And then you can take the arms up. You could lift the fingertips to the wall behind you and slide the elbows towards your waist. Again, keeping the opening across the front of the chest. Trying not to let the chest take over, but instead thinking of keeping the elbows an inch or so off the ground and the hands back. So elbows and hands are kind of out of your peripheral vision. You probably can't even see them. Lifting and squeezing down. And you might find, I find that I get more stretch with the lower position here. So I would then hang out there for a bit. I would find that, listen to my body, and just hang out in that for a moment and just let the shoulders rest. So it's all about listening in to what's going on for you. I can't diagnose a shoulder injury. I wouldn't want to try. You'd need to see a physio if you've got a severe issue with your shoulders or a debilitating issue. But very often a little bit of release work will be the answer, and a lot of your rehab exercises will involve that. So listen in. If there's an area of tightness, not only does that give you a clue as to what's going on in the body, but it also gives you information to take with you if you're seeing a health consultant. So information is really important, and it will help with their diagnosis and it will help with your treatment plan. So, but if you're just tight and you're just feeling some niggles and things are just starting to get a bit tight, posture's not so good, then start to follow some release plans like this. Up and down with those hands. And then my final exercise or stretch that I like to do is to bring the arms up, take one hand on top of the other and just let the arms travel back. Now you're thinking here about the top hand being heavy, the stretch is in the bottom arm, and then release back up again. And you can just do that a few times on each side. Again, you could pop a hand weight in if you wanted to, but really being mindful that you're not taking those shoulders up to the neck. You're keeping the ribs down and the shoulders down, and then you take the arms back. And then you can see quite quickly what kind of mobility you have in your shoulders. Mine is not brilliant, and I know that, and I can tell that that's part of the issue here, is that the shoulder mobility has started to decrease a little bit. I'm probably compensating somewhere else. So again, it's giving you clues. Swap those hands over and you could do another 4 or 5 on the other side. You might find that one shoulder is freer than the other. So I can tell quite quickly that my non-painful side has much more range. And I would put that down to the fact that I am right-handed. So my right hand is the hand that's slightly forwards using the mouse on the keyboard, or if I was cooking dinner, I would be doing it with my right hand. That's the one that would be in front. So that's likely to be the one that's tighter, it's the tighter side. So therefore it indicates that that might be why the right shoulder is a bit of a problem at the moment. But the key with anything, all of these things, is don't ignore it. Take action, take a stretch, take a little bit of mobility work, start to think about your body, take a bit of time. It's self-care, a couple of minutes a day, but these things don't disappear. They will not change on their own. You have to change something. So I hope that was useful. I hope that that was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments, what did you feel? Did you try it? Did you experience any light bulb moments? Did you feel any tightness? If you haven't got a foam roller, are you now going to go and buy yourself one? These ones, I think on Amazon, are about £20, but you can get white ones that are much cheaper. And if you're only using it for this kind of stretch work, yeah, I would just get one of the cheapy ones. They're nothing fancy, but they are such a good piece of kit for stretching and releasing. So, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining if you've made it here live. I didn't tell you this was happening, so don't worry if you didn't make it. And any questions, let me know, and I will see you again soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.